Ready, start. Learned Counsel for the Appellants has also strongly cajoled us into disbelieving the fact that the appellants were carrying firearms, and in fact the entire prosecution on the foundation of his reasoning that if the appellants were carrying firearms, there was no necessity for them to have resorted to the unconservative, cumbersome, and gruesome method of murdering the deceased by crushing him under the wheels of a tractor. Stop. They could have simply shot him dead. The argument is indeed attractive, but not one which holds no substance. The manner in which the author of a crime would choose to perpetrate it is known to him alone. The factum of the crime cannot be discredited or doubted because the perpetrator had an easier way out to achieve the result. Stop. Unless the modus operandi be so demonstratively absurd that it is fantastic or incredible under the circumstances, there is no reason to disbelieve a credible eyewitness account banking on an unfamiliar, rare, or unconservative manner of preparation of the crime. Stop. We do not find from the eyewitness account of the three witnesses who are ad idem about the manner in which the deceased was done to death any reason to doubt their version merely because the appellants had an easier way to eliminate the deceased. Stop. Here the fact that the medico-legal evidence broadly supports the ocular version, which would also be relevant, which we shall presently dwell upon in this judgment. Stop. Evaluating the evidence as a whole, we do not find any force in the submission of the learned counsel for the appellants that the three eyewitnesses PWs 2, 3 and 4 were not present at the scene of crime and did not witness it. Stop para. It is next submitted by the learned counsel for the appellant that there is irreconcilable discrepancy between the ocular version and the medico-legal evidence, which renders the prosecution case utterly unsustainable. Stop. He submits that the injuries received by the deceased could never have been caused in the manner described by the eyewitnesses. Stop. It is urged that the case about the tractor running over the deceased does not explain the injuries caused to him on the head and chest. Stop. Mr. Misra has, during the submissions, drawn our attention to the testimony of PW3, where he has said during his cross examination that the appellants, after forcing the deceased down from the tonga, assaulted him, employing sticks, delivering blows to his limbs as they dragged him across a distance to the tractor, where he was thrown under its wheels. Stop. Learned counsel points out that the injuries in the autopsy report do not disclose anything that may be attributed to those blows that the appellants are said to have inflicted employing sticks. Stop. It is particularly emphasized that there are no contusions that would inevitably be there in case of blows from a stick. Stop. Instead, there are generally abrasions that are not compatible with an ante-mortem assault by sticks that the deceased is said to have suffered. It is for this reason, according to learned counsel for the appellants that the ocular version of the three witnesses deserves to be disbelieved.